Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a situation that, honestly, almost every successful agency hits eventually. It's that critical breaking point where you've done an absolutely amazing job securing new business, but suddenly client demands completely outpace your internal capacity. The sites you've built, the ones you're so incredibly proud of, start underperforming simply because nobody has the bandwidth to keep them healthy. Well, today we're going to explore how white label WordPress maintenance services solve this exact problem. We're talking about transforming what used to be a frustrating chore into a literal growth engine for your agency. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, the capacity trap. 2, shifting the mindset. 3, financial health. 4, operational scale. 5, risk mitigation. And 6, the invisible partner.
Starting off with Section 1, the capacity trap, or when demand outpaces bandwidth.
So what actually happens in your agency when client demands outpace your internal capacity? This is the daily reality for so many dev teams running at absolute max capacity on project work. I'll tell you what the data shows. Maintenance requests just start piling up, essential core and plugin updates get deferred, and most dangerously, proactive security monitoring simply falls through the cracks. Maintenance tasks are suddenly being squeezed into these tiny gaps that don't actually exist in your team's schedule, and that means they get done inconsistently or honestly not at all. Moving right along to Section 2, shifting the mindset, moving from a cost center to a strategic investment. To break out of this capacity trap, we really have to shift our perspective. We have to stop viewing maintenance as just this annoying overhead cost and start seeing it as a strategic investment. Our source material puts this perfectly. Quote, agencies that treat maintenance as a cost center miss the bigger picture. When you reframe your thinking, you realize that proper maintenance is actually a powerful trifecta. First off, it's a predictable, recurring revenue stream. Second, it's an incredible client retention tool. And third, it is a vital reputation protector. When you prevent a client's site from going down, you stop being just a vendor. You become completely indispensable. Which brings us to Section 3, financial health, fueling predictable agency revenue. This financial health is absolutely the first core pillar of long-term agency success. Just look at the contrast between these two main types of agency income. On one side, you've got project revenue. It's inherently unpredictable, right? It's that classic feast or famine cycle that keeps agency owners up at 2 a.m. But on the other side, maintenance retainers. Every single client on a monthly maintenance plan represents predictable, recurring income that arrives whether new project work is flowing in or not. This kind of stability entirely changes how an agency can plan, forecast, and actually weather those inevitable slow periods without all that financial stress. And when you look at the business model itself, check out this number, 30 to 100%. That is the typical markup agencies can charge when they use a white label partner. You're basically buying maintenance at a wholesale rate and reselling it to your clients at retail pricing under your own brand. The margin is highly reliable, all the actual heavy lifting is handled by your partner, and the client relationship stays entirely yours. It's literally one of the most consistent ways to boost your agency's financial health. So the crucial takeaway here is this. The gap between project completions is exactly where client relationships either strengthen or they erode. Think about it. Clients who only hear from you when a brand new project kicks off will eventually start wondering what they're paying a retainer for. But with white label maintenance, you're providing monthly reports, security alerts, and performance updates. You are giving them tangible, ongoing proof that you are actively caring for their investment, making them way less likely to ever shop around for someone else. Let's jump into Section 4, operational scale, scaling without adding headcount. We need to tackle the massive hurdle of trying to grow an in-house maintenance team, because scaling this internally is just full of friction. Hiring a dedicated WordPress maintenance specialist is incredibly expensive. You're dealing with salary, benefits, training, management overhead. Plus, finding someone with the exact right mix of security knowledge, performance optimization, and update management, that's genuinely difficult. And even if you manage to find that unicorn employee, they have strict per-employee capacity limits. One person can only manage so many sites before the quality of their work just starts to suffer. Now take a look at this chart. By offloading those routine, lower-value maintenance tasks, you completely free up your developers to focus on the high-value work. We're talking custom development, shiny new client projects, and strategic initiatives. A white label partner absorbs that maintenance workload seamlessly, meaning your agency can scale its revenue without the agonizing HR overhead and endless hiring cycles. It's a real game changer. On to Section 5, Risk Mitigation, Enterprise-Grade Risk Reduction. This is all about protecting your client's bottom line, and of course, your agency's hard-earned reputation. Thousands of dollars per hour. Let that sink in. According to research, this is the devastating average cost of unplanned IT downtime for small and medium businesses. We're talking lost productivity, lost revenue, and massive recovery expenses. Your clients feel real financial pain when their sites go down. And make no mistake, they will hold your agency responsible when something goes wrong, regardless of whose fault it actually was. A single security breach can do lasting damage to your reputation. But by partnering with a white label service, even small and mid-sized agencies instantly gain access to enterprise-level infrastructure. Boom. Just like that, you've got staging environments for testing updates, automated offsite backups, global uptime monitoring, security dashboards, and strict incident response protocols. Your clients get around-the-clock monitoring and immediate responses to security alerts. This consistency completely elevates your agency's reputation and makes your maintenance offering genuinely competitive against much, much larger firms. And finally, Section 6, the Invisible Partner, how white label maintenance actually works. So you might be wondering, how does this integration actually function in the real world? Well, by definition, a white label maintenance provider, like Viral Chili, for example, is designed to be completely invisible to your clients. A partner like this is basically a ghost in the machine. Every piece of reporting, all the communication, and all the deliverables carry only your agency's branding. Your clients interact solely with you. It perfectly preserves your client relationships and cements you as the single point of contact for everything, while you get all the credit for a flawlessly running website. Pretty great, right? And the scope of what a dedicated partner like Viral Chili handles behind the scenes? It's exhaustive. It's the whole shebang. The complete checklist typically includes core, plugin, and theme updates. Always run safely through a staging environment first, of course. They handle daily or weekly offsite backups, continuous security monitoring and malware scanning, uptime monitoring with alert protocols, and ongoing performance optimization. Some even handle database optimization and broken link checks. The operational burden is entirely removed from your plate. And all of this builds into an incredibly fast onboarding process. If you want to start offering this, a specialized partner like Viral Chili doesn't take months to get rolling. They can onboard new sites within just a few days to 1 week. Step 1 is simply providing hosting access. Step 2, they conduct an initial site audit. And Step 3, they establish a baseline setup for monitoring and backups. Once that's done, they take over the schedule immediately, which means you can start offering these packages to your existing clients right away. So, we've seen how this model protects your clients, guarantees predictable recurring revenue, and scales your operations without having to add headcount. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The question isn't really whether white label WordPress maintenance is worth the investment. Given the incredibly high risks of unexpected downtime and developer burnout, the real question is, how much longer can you afford to operate without it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.